Welcome to Hugh What Where, the show where curiosity leads the way. I'm Hugh Views, and I've always been intrigued by people, their stories, their thoughts, and the little things that make them who they are. Some questions may stay surface level, while others might dig a little deeper. Let's see where we go with today's guest. Jonathan Mann, aka A Day Mann, has written and shared a new song every single day for over 6,000 days. His music ranges from deeply personal moments to wild internet happenings and real-world events, all delivered with his signature honesty and a little bit of chaos. One of my favorite moments is his Mario opera that ended up on G4 TV over 20 years ago. I met Jonathan and his lovely family at Disney World while they were in town, and that same day, Bananakin and I somehow ended up in a video in Song a Day 5142. Since then, the Mann family has grown, and it's been amazing to watch from afar. His songs evoke a range of emotions, and before you know it, you're part of the story. So, hi, Jonathan. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, hello. Happy to join.
I appreciate it. Are you ready for some questions? I only have a few, but they should be fun.
I'm ready. I can talk for hours, so let's
All right,
go.
Cool. So, what movie could you watch over and over again?
Oh, in college we watched oh God, I'm blanking on the name. It's the cheerleading movie.
Bring It On?
Bring It On. We watched Bring It On pretty much like every day, like for several semesters in college. I don't know why. I don't know how that started, but I definitely remember it being like, wow, this movie is like endlessly rewatchable.
I'm gonna have to rewatch it again. I haven't seen it in years.
I don't know. So that's the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of like rewatching movies. I'm waiting for my kids to get old enough / interested in either Star Wars or Lord of the Rings or both, ideally.
The oldest isn't interested yet?
Not yet.
Really? I thought they would be.
There's a kind of thing where it's like, yeah, I found you definitely can't force it. Like, I've sat down with them many times to try to get them to watch, and like it just is not stuck.
Yeah.
I keep trying to like shove like the book Lord of the Rings over to them because I know they only read manga right now.
Oh, okay.
Like they're just like deep in. They read like Full Metal Alchemist, like speaking of over and over, I think they read like Full Metal. They just would like read the whole thing and then like start over and read it over again. But once the kids are old enough and they, get into that stuff, I used to have a tradition of like watching those things once a year, which sort of fell by the wayside. I will say, though, actually, now I'm thinking about it too, Star Trek The Next Generation, I've seen like probably about 8 or 9 times all the way through.
Is that show, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Star Trek The Next Generation.
How many seasons of that?
There's 7 seasons.
Oh, wow.
Many episodes. They're all, around like 22 or 23. But I watched it with like an old roommate, and then I watched it with my ex-girlfriend, and then my wife actually has also always been a big fan, so we rewatched it together. So nice. I'm also looking forward to like at some point introducing the kids to that show, and like that's actually a show that I watched with my parents. When I was like 10 or 11, like we would stay up. They would let me stay up and we would watch it. So that one goes deep. So that's not a movie, but that's maybe the one that I would say like that I consciously have like come back to many, many times.
That's very cool. That's cool. I can't wait till the whole family's like, yes, fine, we'll give in. We will watch it all.
Yeah. No, and they're going to love it. Like, I know, and this happens. Oh, you know what it happened with? It happened with Steven Universe, and then it happened with Adventure Time, where both of them I tried over and over and over, like, at different ages to get them to watch them. and we would watch one, and they'd be like, "No, I don't want to watch this." And we did that several times, and then finally, we were like, "Oh," and it like clicked for them, and we watched all the way through Steven Universe. It was glorious, and we're currently like in the middle of a Adventure Time watch, and so
Nice.
yeah,
With
and so
with both of the older kids, or
yeah, exactly.
Oh, nice.
With the 8-year-old and the 11-year-old, like they
Nice.
both are totally into it. Yeah,
That's
so,
very cool.
yeah.
That's awesome that they're both like finally like, yes, fine, we'll do that.
Yeah, no, and then they love it, you know, and then they love it, and
Yeah.
it's like you were right, Dad. You were right.
You're like, Star Trek will come. I know.
Yeah, eventually, yeah.
That's awesome. You have to have a lot of ideas. So, do you have some place that you store them besides just in your brain?
Sometimes I will take a moment and like write them all down. But mostly it's the kind of thing where I'm like, if an idea has legs and it's like enough to get me interested and hold my interest, then it will stick around and it. I sort of, I guess in some ways I don't do this consciously, but I guess in some ways it's like I make the idea sort of like fight for my brain cycles or whatever. It's like if the idea is really good enough, then then it'll pop up again, and it'll command some of my attention. And I talked about this a little bit in a thread the other day, like, you know, like vibe coding and the ability to write code now, albeit in a very haphazard kind of way, has totally changed the nature of the ideas that I can have, and like the scope of the ideas I can have, because as I explained in the thread, like I can now code in the way that I've done everything, which is like, you know, just immediate, like do something and immediately see results, and from that determine whether or not something is worth pursuing, or oh, this isn't quite right, but I can see how I could make this into something that I think is worth pursuing. Or
okay, so it's more like immediate gratification or dissatisfaction, like
exactly.
Okay.
No, and that's
All right.
and that's how I create. Like that's how I've always created with music or with anything else. It's like I don't necessarily like have a really set idea. I might have the kernel of an idea or a little bit of an idea, but it's only once I start like throwing things against the wall and doing it. And that was never, like, certainly never possible with code before. You know, you would need like a team of people to sit there and like do what you say, you know, be like, now make this. Ah, that's not good. Now make this other. Oh, that's not good either. You know, like, but that's exactly what I do with AI. I'm like, oh, that's not quite right. You know, but it's like, it's really, it's been quite life-changing.
It's so insane, like how quickly it seems to be changing
So fast.
with that too.
So fast.
Do you know how long it took you with the game?
Yeah, I mean, the game took me like from idea to like working thing. I hesitate to even call it a prototype because it's not that much different from what I actually have shared with people. But like from idea to like full game was a week, and you know, then it's just about like, you know, figuring out like all the little things that need to be fixed or whatever. But like, you know, let's say like, you know, probably another month on like the polish or whatever, on like trying to, you know, sand off the rough edges and like make sure that, and I mean, you played it, like there's still plenty of rough edges left, but like, you know, enough to where it was like, you know, when I play it now, there's like nothing that like really bothers me or whatever.
Yeah.
So like that's the point where it, you know, to get it to the point where it was like playable from start to finish was about a week, and then like to get it to the point where I wasn't bothered was like probably another month of just like hacking away at little pieces.
Pull the perfectionist card away. You're like, fine, I give up.
Yeah.
It's very
exactly.
playable. It's very good. Like like going through your thread and seeing like how it came, it's like, yeah, it's really hard for me to understand, but it also makes sense in a way. I'm like, all right, I don't think this is anything that I could dip my toes into quite yet, but
Yeah,
it looks really good, like how you
and
did it.
I actually think too though that like there will be a day like you do. I found like what's happening in my brain is like I just like when I learned to edit video or just like when I learned to record music, like there's a thing that happens in your brain where like you don't understand something and then slowly you start to understand something, and that's what's happening with me with coding now. Like I still don't think I'm ever gonna be able to do it without the AI, but like the barrier now is gone essentially. Like I feel confident that like I can think up an idea and like make it, and it's going to have a lot of problems, and like a real dev is going to have to come in probably at some point and like make it so I'm not like sharing any like secret things that I don't need, like the
Yeah.
classic things. But I do think that at the rate that it's going, I think that that we are heading towards a point where like literally anyone, and you like will not have to understand. It'll be completely like 100% completely abstracted away. All of the because now it's not. It definitely is not abstracted away because, you know, as I'm sort of learning, I'm becoming, you know, the this we could get like slightly technical here, but like
Go for it.
the first like things that I started to make were just written in this language called Python. And so and like I couldn't tell you really like the first thing about actually writing Python or anything, but like even understanding the basics of Python, not how to write it, but like how it functions. You need like the condo or you need the environment, like, and anyone who knows what they're talking about, if they're listening to this, they're like, what are you talking about? But like the way that a non-technical person's brain like mine has to grok it, I think is different. But there still is something that you have to grok. There still is like, it's as if, it's as if you wanted to like record music, you would still have to know like how a guitar is made or something. There's like there's a part of it that is like still not abstracted away. But I think that eventually, at the rate that it's going, you literally are just going to be able to like make me this, and it'll like figure it out and like do it. Like
That's insane.
I do think that we're heading that way, and it is totally insane. Yeah.
But like it's also like the possibilities, right? Like
Yeah, huge.
yeah, it's very cool. It's
It breaks my brain. It completely breaks my brain because now I have just way more ideas than ever before,
Yeah.
and I to a certain extent. So I have this new idea like that I just thought of the other day, where I was like, I'm just such a big fan of Def Beef's work.
Yeah.
And there's this thing where he writes all of his he hand codes all of his stuff, and he does it in this language called C, which is like a very by today's standards like very primitive language. And as programming languages developed, they became more and more abstracted from you. I guess you sort of start with ones and zeros, right? Like that's the least abstraction that you can get, is like it's literally ones and zeros that are in the computer or whatever. And then like there's a step up from ones and zeros, which is called assembly. And for instance, like Nintendo games were written in assembly, and it's like incredibly cumbersome and difficult to work with. And then like one step up from assembly is C, and that's where Def Beef works.
Oh,
And so
okay.
part of what makes Def Beef so amazing is that he works in this very low level language that's like very fussy and like very not abstracted. It's very like you have to really know what you're doing. and I had this idea of how funny it would be. A lot of times my ideas start as like a tweet. It's like I'm imagining the tweet when I'm tweeting it out. And so the tweet is like I vibe coded a project of 512 generative artworks called Not Deaf Beef, and I vibe coded it all in assembly. And so the idea is to like vibe code like a Deaf Beef style work in a language that is more abstracted from the one that he uses. So on the one hand, I'm vibe coding it, but on the other hand, it's in a language that's like deeper than the one he uses.
Whew. That's like rabbit holes in rabbit holes.
It is. And then I have this idea, and I'm like, okay, well, like, is this even? Can I do that? Like, and then I start like asking the computer. I'm like, what do you know about Deaf Beef? And then it like tells me how Deaf Beef works. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Like, can we do the same thing in assembly? And they're like, sure. Here's how you do it. And then and then it doesn't work. And then it's like nothing. It does. And then it's like it doesn't work this way and it doesn't work that way. And then finally, like today I got it to make a sound. And I was like, oh, cool. Okay, so I don't know what that'll be, but it's just like the idea is to go from just like random fucking idea based on a tweet that you have to like actually being able to do it is like it's so tantalizingly close that it's so hard to not just like literally do that all day and just be like, oh, what about this and what about that and what about it's crazy.
I find it so interesting that like it's kind of like a tweet thought for you first, like it's like writing the caption, like I guess it's like naming the song before you get it, like
naming the song or like the log line from a movie, right?
Yeah. No, that's interesting. I never really thought about it like that. Sorry, that is not all that I took out of that, but that was
no.
That's like a thing. I was like, oh, that's very interesting to me.
I find myself sometimes thinking in those terms. So it's like unfortunately, in a very sad way, like that's how I have to release my work. If there was a different way, I would. But
no, it makes sense though. Actually, speaking on releasing work, when you finish a song, and I know we've talked about this before, but when you finish a song, what are the steps that you take afterwards? Because I know some of it's automated, right?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. So I actually like built, or like improved, I should say, the like tool that I use to do that. So originally, I mean, going back all the way to the beginning of Song a Day, like the process would be like I finish a song, and then I would upload it to YouTube like that. And then like eventually I had like a cascade thing using this internet web service called If This Then That.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, that would like send it to Tumblr or like whatever. But like essentially like it was always basically just send it to YouTube. And then once I started minting them every day, which was like early 2022, one of the things I hired this like Web3 company called Raid Guild to build the website, songaday.world, the sort of original version of it. And then they also built what we called like the Song a Day Toolkit, which is like a back end thing for me. And it was like a really easy way. It was like a one-stop shop to mint the song. That was its primary function for many years. So like now, for many years what it looked like was I would upload it to YouTube, I'd fill out my spreadsheet that has all the traits, and then like I'd paste the spreadsheet line into this app that they made for me called the Toolkit, and it would generate like the metadata that I needed to put on IPFS and then mint, and I could all do that like right from the app.
And that was all from a spreadsheet?
That was all from so the spreadsheet gets fed into the app basically.
Okay.
Yeah. No, the app is its own thing that essentially runs on my computer. But then once I got into vibe coding and once I started like imagining, like what it does is it really like opens up my imagination. So like I started to think, well, like there's a lot of steps in here. Like I like every day I'm like uploading it to YouTube, and then I'm separately uploading it to Twitter. And then I'm not separately, and then I also have to separately upload it to IPFS. And then I'm not uploading it to Warpcast every day because that would just be more work, and I don't want to do that every day. Um, so I'm like, but you know what? Like, I should be able to upload this once and have it go to IPFS and Warpcast and Twitter and YouTube and Blue Sky and anywhere else that I want it to go.
Yeah.
And so I vibe code like fixed my toolkit to basically to have it do that, and it like it does all kinds of like really cool things. And actually, we're gonna me and my dev together. My dev is this guy Alan who lives in Ohio. He's really cool. He's been helping me basically since 2022, just on and off. But yeah, he's essentially like my dev. He has his own other design business that he does. But like we got a little bit of funding actually
Ooh.
to like basically productize this toolkit, and turn it from something that's just like something that I use that's on my computer to like an actual app that like anybody can use,
Oh, wow.
for minting work or even just sharing work. So the vision that I have for it, essentially, and the vision that I've always wanted it to be, is like, yeah, is like a one place, a like I will put my songs anywhere, but like I don't want to have to do it all separately. So
Yeah.
so the app is gonna the vision of it is like, you'll be able to choose, like it's gonna go to Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, like all the different places. But then also like all the Web3 places. Do you want to mint it in Manifold? Do you want to mint it on Highlight? Do you want to mint it wherever? And like the idea is that you don't have to go anywhere, like that it can just be this one spot where you can just have the hash or whatever of your artwork, you put it in, and you can send it out to all the different places. That's the sort of like, and really it's like, it's just, the whole idea is like, this is what I want. This is what I've always wanted.
I mean, it would help a lot of people.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
I mean,
I hope so.
can't tell you how many times I've woken up and been like, oh shit, I forgot to post on Instagram.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly. It's like,
it's okay, made it on Twitter, but like, oh god, like it's just that you forget it that one place.
you forget it that one place, and it's like, who has time to like spend all, like, it's just
not
like
that anybody's noticing, but like it
but
was just
still,
like, you know,
yeah,
like,
yeah. We know.
we know,
We know, and that
like
makes
the
a difference.
date's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, and so that's the general idea.
The target audience, the everyday crowd.
The everyday crowd, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, because for someone who's not putting out work that often, it's not as cumbersome to like, you're doing a campaign or something around an artwork. It's like, or a song. It's like, you're going to put a lot of time and a lot of thought into like, okay, how am I going to frame this tweet and all this stuff? But like, yeah, if you're doing it every day, you don't want to mess with, like, it's just such a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it really is. But fun all at the same time.
It's true.
Oh yeah, when we met you, you had 2 children.
Yeah.
Since then, the family's grown a little.
Yes.
Can you tell me why you guys decided to foster?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, fostering has always been something that Juliana, my wife, has wanted to do. It's sort of been like a lifelong thing that she's always had the idea of. And I really wanted more kids, and she was like, I'm not ever being pregnant again.
I remember her being very adamant about
yeah.
that. She's like, yeah, no.
I'm done. And so I was like, okay, that's cool. And so I'm like, yeah, let's foster. That sounds great. And so we were like on a track that was like a foster to adopt. And yeah, he came to us. We got a call like in August of 2023, and and for about a year, we were like his foster parents, and then in October of last year, we adopted him. So now he's officially part of the family.
That's
and
amazing.
Yeah, and it's always a little, it's like very bittersweet because it's like his parents, his birth parents, but we're in touch with them, and we're in touch with his sibling. He has a lot of siblings. We're in touch with all of them, and so.
It's good to have that information, though. That's amazing.
Oh yeah,
that's great.
No, it's great. It's great, and he knows, like, he knows everybody's name, and he knows. We're very open with him, about where he comes from and all that kind of stuff, and so, and it's interesting too. Like the foster people, they have a psychologist, a child psychologist, like write out, like a child's story in language that is like appropriate for like a 9, 10, 11, 12-year old, because they find that, like, very often that's around when they start being like, hey, like what happened, like where did I come from and stuff. And so we have this like piece of paper with his story on it, that he can like reference when he starts asking those questions and being curious.
Oh, that's so sweet. Like, that's amazing. Like,
yeah,
to have.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
It's good. It's not like the kind of old days or whatever when it's like, just like we didn't tell him. It's like one day he finds out or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it's going great. He's great. We also do what's called respite. So like if a foster parent has to go somewhere and they can't take their foster kids, then there's families like us that are called respite families, and we take kids for like a weekend or we've had up to a week now. We had mostly teenagers. We just had a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old, which was like an experience having 5 kids ranging from 2 to 11 in the house was like a totally different vision of the future for us. But
like, we're going younger.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god.
That's very cool though. Like, do you get like a week heads up, or is it just like a...
No, generally you do. Generally, like that one we knew like a month in advance. Like there can be emergency ones, but generally, like, it's kind of sad because there's like a big lack of enough families. What ends up happening, at least here in Connecticut, I don't know how it is in other states, but what's happening here is that there's a bit of a death spiral where it's like there's very few families available, and then those families end up being relied on very heavily, so they just get lots and lots and lots of respite, lots of kids. Sometimes what can happen in respite is like there can be some kind of thing that happens with the original foster family, and like a week can turn into a month or something. And then, that family that's like been so relied on is like, okay, like we're a little burnt out. Like we got to take a break, or we got to be done for a while. And then it's like, now there's even less foster parents. And so the ones that are left have to deal with more. And it's just like, so I don't know. I feel like they're, just like everything in our country, like no matter where you go, institutions, things are crumbling, and no one knows what to do. We're not quite at that point yet. It's like we definitely, after having those kids for a week, we're like, okay, we're gonna need like some time to recover, because it was like,
yeah, you gotta reset your house.
It's intense, it was very intense.
Yeah.
So
is that diapers at 2? No.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Still diapers at 2.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. You're like, oh, we're back.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Every morning there was a poopy diaper waiting for us, and it's like,
We did this.
It's like you just can't escape it. Eventually,
No, but that's really, really sweet of you guys to do that. Like, it's amazing. So
yeah, well, we love it. So
no, that's great.
Good.
I have one more question for you, and it's I'm asking everybody the same thing.
Yeah.
and I guess it's a little bit of a thinker. I don't know. A couple people have had issues. Um, how has a piece of life advice changed the way you think, and what would you pass on to somebody else? Doesn't have to be about art. Literally, life. It could be anything.
Yeah. Oh, I like that question. Um, you know, the 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 quote I always come back to, and I probably have said this to you before or referenced it. Um, and this isn't something somebody said to me. This is just like a quote from Martha Graham about creativity. But like this quote has really like helped frame what I think about creativity, and and it's so tied up in my life that it does feel like a life quote to me, because it like, you know, as I'm sure like you can get kind of discouraged, or you can feel like, yeah, like nobody's listening, like what's the point? Like I'm not getting anywhere. What am I doing? And that's a very common, obviously thing for for artists to feel. And Martha Graham has this quote, and it's from this book by another. Martha Graham is a really great, famous choreographer, kind of like invented modern dance. And she was saying, this quote comes from the book of another dancer, DeMille. Her name is DeMille. I don't remember her first name. And in the context of it is that DeMille had just choreographed the dancing in the original Broadway thing of Oklahoma, this like Oklahoma Broadway show. And DeMille was, like Martha, sort of first and foremost considered herself a modern dancer. But and she never really was getting recognized for her modern dance choreography. And then she takes this gig, doing this Oklahoma choreography, and it's a huge hit. And suddenly she's in demand, and people are just like falling over themselves for her work in this musical, of which she's not particularly proud of or crazy about. It's just sort of like, it's not the thing that is in her heart. It's not the thing that she wants to be known for, or for doing. And so there's a conversation in this book that DeMille wrote between Martha Graham and her, and she's sort of relaying all of this to Martha Graham, and Martha Graham says, essentially like, it's natural to not be satisfied. And DeMille is like, but that's not cool. Like where is the satisfaction in creativity? And Martha Graham says, and in the book she says that she like cries out passionately, like there's no satisfaction whatsoever at any time. And she says, and then the quote that she says is, there's a vitality, a life force, a quickening that is translated through you into action. And since there's only one of you in all of time, this expression is unique, and if you block it, it can never exist in any other medium and will be lost. It's not your business to determine how good it is or compare it with other people's expression. It's your business to keep it yours clearly and directly, to keep the channel open. You don't even have to believe in yourself or your work. You have to keep open and aware directly to the urges that motivate you. Keep the channel open. No artist is pleased. There is no satisfaction whatsoever at any time. There is only a queer divine dissatisfaction, a blessed unrest that keeps us marching and makes us more alive than the others.
I will be very dissatisfied with my daily today and know that it'll be okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love my favorite
That's a
part
new way
in
to
the whole
think about
thing.
it.
My favorite part of the whole thing, and it's very I find it very comforting. I don't know why, but just to hear someone say this, and I think it's really true, which is like, you don't have to believe in yourself. It's okay. Don't go ahead. Don't believe in yourself. It's fine.
Yeah.
Don't believe in yourself. Don't believe in your work. It's cool. Just keep the channel open. Sit down. Do it. That's it. That's all that you can do. And that has really, like, I feel like with Song a Day, I already kind of intuited that. Like, that's sort of, I feel like I knew it on some level, but anytime I'm feeling like down or I'm feeling shitty about it, I think about that quote and I'm like, okay, I'm like, that it really helps. I sort of understand religious texts in a way through this quote, where I'm like, I find comfort in like opening up my browser and like looking at this quote or whatever. Like someone would open a Bible and read it. Yeah.
I mean, I think about that often because I'm like, we people that do everydays, like no matter whether it's art or music, whatever it is, like, you're not at least me. I don't want to speak for everybody, but like, I always tell Banana, I'm like, we're not gonna like these every day. Like, it's just not gonna happen. Like, sometimes
it's not
just like
possible
it's there, yeah,
for you to like it every day.
And I shouldn't. Like, it's like, yeah, here it is. Like, it's came from my brain. You're welcome, world.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and I'm sure you've had the experience of ones that you didn't like very much, other people like a lot more than you like.
It's weird how that works.
Or, ones that you didn't like very much when you made it, when you're looking back over your work, a year, 2 years, 3 years later, things catch your eye that might not have the first time you experienced them. So it's like, I feel like what's powerful about this quote is like just a different way of saying, like, you don't have to care about it. Like, you don't have to care about its quality or how it compares to other. It's just like, just make it and then see what happens.
That is amazing. I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me and for releasing your songs every day, whether you like them or not. Because wow, like it's over 17 years, which is insane. In the best way possible. So thank you again, and thanks for inviting us to be in one of the videos. That was still quite a moment.
It was so fun.
It was so good. I just remember, I just posted recently. I'm like, I definitely regret not just like being a backup singer for like 5 seconds. No, you.
Well, there's always next time. There's always next time.
I still will not sing. So you're welcome for that in advance. Okay. But no, thank you again, and
well, thank you for having me on Who What Where. I love that.
Thank you.